These are white-lipped island pit vipers, less appropriately called insularis vipers, more appropriately titled by their scientific name Trimeresurus insularis. They're part of the biggest tree viper family of Asia, with around 30 plus species and counting. Most species in this genus are rather small, slender, with short and prehensile tails. These snakes are arboreal and spend most of their time in the trees. Most species come in green, but trims, in short, come in a variety of colors, and you'll see in this video, from browns to blues, yellows, and even dark shades of purple. Most trims are ovoviviparous. Yeah, that was a tongue twister. But this means that they give birth to live young. However, there are no placental connections, and the young are instead nourished with egg yolk, unlike viviparous animals like us. Though oddly, a handful in this genus are oviparous, laying eggs such as the Sumatran and Hagen's pit vipers. Now let's discuss housing. I've decided to get them all some plastic containers with appropriately poked in holes on every side. For the time being, this is the stage that they are very fragile and want to feel as safe as possible. Keep in mind, all they want to do now is find a safe spot to sit and ambush prey. I gave them a large water bowl in each tub to maintain humidity and give them a spot to drink. Now it's finally time to house the babies. And I know what you're thinking, but Chris, won't Mom a bit offensive or protective over her offspring? The answer? Only ever so slightly. You see, she's being very cautious as I move out one after another of her babies. She's glancing out, watching all that's going on around her. She's not striking or showing any defensive postures, and that's the good side. Snakes are not like us. They don't really have that protective mother instinct. Once their babies are born or hatched, they are on their own, especially once they leave the area. Why are some babies green and not blue like the parents? Interesting question. This is likely due to the genetics that the parents bring to the table. Since their locality is shared with the green color form Insularis, I'll bet that their ancestors had both color forms in their blood. I've also talked to an expert in Indonesia who's produced many Insularis over the years, and even he has had clutches of mostly green babies from both blue adults. However, at the 1-year mark, many of his babies who were born green started to turn blue after each and every shed. And that was right at the 1-year mark. Fascinating stuff that we don't know a great deal about yet. Only time will tell. Keeping babies like this is surely nothing fancy and seems a bit lackluster. However, if you have so many viper babies that you have to take care of and keep a steady eye on, a full-on nice decorated bioactive enclosure is not going to be the perfect choice. It can be quite a controversial topic since, quote-unquote, they surely don't live like this in the wild. No, of course not, Karen. And guess how many survive till adulthood in the wild? Less than 10%. You see, biologists and labs take on this sort of keeping all the time. That's because they get to monitor all of their specimens. They get to know if they're eating properly, pooping properly, drinking properly, and they get to monitor the temps, the humidity, and the space. Now after this, in a few months, I will up the size. When they grow up a bit and when they're stable, then I'll set them into bioactive enclosures. Right now, if any problems should arise, I can easily take care of it one-on-one. As for how venomous these animals are, let's not find out the hard way. What we'll do is stick to what we already know. And what we already know is that their venom is mostly composed of hemotoxins. Some species in this genus come with neurotoxins, like the Pope's pit viper. But all from this genus are considered dangerous. Now the venom from this species works on destroying the red blood cells, preventing blood clotting, and is very destructive to living tissue. meaning if you receive a bite, the symptoms could range from swelling to aches and pains, nausea, rotting, and tissue death. Your death, though, is unlikely, and no one should wait and find out, especially the young children or the elderly. And I'm no doctor, but if your finger is turning black and melting, you should seek medical care. As cute as these little bitty guys are, they already pack a punch. Though there's no way a baby snake's bite can rival that of an adult, a lot of people falsely believe that a baby's bite is more dangerous because they cannot control the amount of venom they put out. Keep in mind though, a baby is usually 100 times smaller than an adult, and it would be impossible for them to deliver nearly as much as an adult could. Yes, these snakes are venomous, but does that make them killing machines? Absolutely not. They are living, breathing, carbon-based life forms just like the rest of us, and only use their venom to take down prey, or as defense. And it also plays a great role in aiding digestion. What you deem scary? Well, imagine you being the size of this tiny little snake and a giant approaches right at your doorstep. Would you be afraid for your life? Would you poop your pants? I know I would. These are albino white-lipped pit vipers, very close relatives of the Insularis. But they are a mainland species, and to the untrained eye, you would say they were the exact same as the green Insularis. Are these albino snakes naturally occurring in the wild in this color form? Well, no. Well, actually, rarely. It does happen in the wild, but it's seen more as a birth defect, making them easier targets for predators, though they surely didn't mean to evolve this way. Albinism, as seen here, is a genetic mutation, causing the animals born to be stripped of all melanin and lack dark pigments. Here I have my adult male white-lipped pit viper out to show you guys what I mean. The babies will keep that beautiful bright yellow color their entire lives. However, a normal variant like this male would be born green and maintain that coloration into adulthood like you see here. What about this snake here? Not the same as the others I've shown, and surely not a full black version of them, right? Not exactly. This is a mangrove or shore pit viper, another close relative. They also come in browns, banded forms, and even some with green and red. This is a wild melanistic color form, not altered by humans, and scientists believe some animals evolved to certain darker pigments or more melanin to blend in better with their surroundings and avoid predators. When they're separated, feeding becomes no issue. You don't have to worry about one individual accidentally biting the other or even eating the other one. You know, it does happen, yeah. Or not getting enough food or water. I personally always separate baby snakes once they go through their first sheds. After that is when I set them up and feed them once settled in. In a few months is when I'll move them to actual enclosures. I need to know that they are stable, eating and drinking, and have no issues that I should be aware about. I've converted all of my trims, babies, and adults to take frozen thawed meals, from pinky mice to fuzzy mice, then adults. Some of my adult trims will take chicks. Newborn babies, though, can oftentimes be stubborn or picky eaters. Since in the wild they start out their lives by hunting baby geckos and frogs most of the time, rarely will they run into pinky mice. They start taking mice in the wild when they reach the appropriate size. So in captivity, newborns are going to want to take different meals, instead of pinkies most of the time. By converting all of mine onto pinkies now, they'll be on a more stable diet and be easier to care for. As you can see, once they get a good bite on the meal, they have no problems with it. The venom I mentioned earlier will aid them immensely in digesting these meals, as it helps break down the insides into a smoothie-like state. If you're looking into keeping venomous, never ever defang or devenom. They majorly depend on their venom and fangs, and it is crucial to their survival. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed that little process of me acclimating babies. I'm sorry it took a while to get this video out, but the renovations have caused a lot of pushbacks. But anyway, that's my time for the day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.